Hello and welcome to Board Stupid. My name's Wayne.
And I'm Matt.
And if you've been following this little series, you'll know that we've been looking at games in different time frames.
Yeah.
And basically getting shorter and shorter at this point. We started at 60 minutes.
Yeah, we've done the 30 minutes.
Check that out.
And we're doing the 15 minutes.
Is it even possible? Do games exist that you can play in 15 minutes while you're having a coffee?
Well, I'll tell you, we got 10 games, 5 each for you. So
they do
if
exist.
you only have 15 minutes, if you can have it in your coffee break, or if you got a very short lunch break in the office.
No excuse. You can get a game in.
You can still play.
Absolutely. And that's the point of this particular episode. And we hope that 15 minutes is enough, because sometimes you don't have any time at all. And you know what doesn't take any time at all, Matt?
Well, hit the subscribe button.
Even less than 15 minutes, no time, bam, 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 all done. And you can also spend some time, easily 15 minutes, browsing the wonderful site at Into the AM. Into the AM are our wonderful partners who give and sell these amazing graphic tees and some tremendous leisure wear, so we would thoroughly recommend checking it out. And Matt, what have we got for the people?
We got for you a 10% discount using the link in description or the Board Stupid code on the checkout. And just to be clear, this is not a 10% off. It's a 10% off on top of whatever other discounts you can find on the website. And they're always full of
Or sales and all sorts.
Yeah, sales or like buying 3, paying 2, so all stuff, something like that. But this is on top of any other discounts that you can find. So again, it's a really good, and they do some fantastic stuff. All geeky, Japanese inspired, really cool stuff. So definitely check it out.
Absolutely, hit that magic link. And when you've done that, come back, get a coffee, and in that time you can play any of these games.
Yes, 15 minutes games for you.
Okay, Matt, you've ordered your coffee from the barista. What are you gonna bust out while I'm sitting at the table?
Probably doing some trains, like drawing some trains.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, and we're talking about Railroad Inc.
Railroad Inc.
That you can definitely play in 15 minutes.
Certainly can, yeah.
It's a very nice little roll and write game where you're trying to build the best routes for your little trains on the map, and it's kind of like a little bit of a puzzle element to understand how do you want to go, but it's pretty simple to pick up. You literally like roll the dice, see what pieces of the rail you can do, and you just draw on the map. This is nice and easy,
This is the perfect coffee shop game, I think.
It is.
Because it's relaxing, it's not really stressful. You roll the dice and you enjoyed like drawing the little routes on your map, like, oh this is a right angle, oh, I need that, or this is a road, oh, I need that, I'm going to connect this over to. Brilliant little game.
Yes, it's, again, as you say, it's 15 minutes well spent. And,
it really is.
It's very fun still. The roll and write mechanism always gives like something new, a new challenge, a new randomness, and again there are different versions of these games.
Loads of mini expansions.
The blue,
as well.
the red, like what
There's a yellow one. There's like little tiny boxes with extra dice to add extra challenges in as well. You can play this game solo if you want to with a cup of coffee, just rolling the dice and trying to make the best route yourself. Other than that, it's just who has the most points, so you're not really interacting anyway, so it's a really nice, relaxing activity that you can partake in. A tremendous game that you can play in 15 minutes, man. This is a great pick.
Yeah, Railroad Inc. Cool. Clock is ticking, so what you got?
Yeah, so railroading was too relaxing, so I want a bit of stress in my life.
Go on.
So this is Spyfall.
Ooh,
Spyfall's my number 5. It's been around for a long old time now at this point, and it's just a great little social deduction game. This is the easiest one I think I could possibly teach to anybody. Very, very simple. You have a deck of cards on which, say we've got 6 cards, 5 of them will have a picture of a location. Could be a cathedral. 5 of them will have a cathedral on it. The 6th one will have nothing on it except the word spy. Yeah. Shuffle those up, dish them out. The person that has the spy card has to work out where they are. Everyone else, they know where they are. And you do it through the medium of communication. Just looking at someone and asking them a question. Like, Matt, what's the weather like today? And if you're the spy, you might be like, I don't know. But if you're everyone else, you're like, we're in a cathedral. How are you supposed to know? So really, really clever game that is simple, can teach to anybody, does involve needing to be comfortable, just talking to people. It's a very social game.
I find it's always a hit with people that don't normally play board games as well, because it's so short that you can do like a run. They will understand the game exactly how it works, what kind of question you need to ask. Because if you are too specific into a question, you could come up to be the spy, because it's just like, oh, that was very specific. He doesn't really want to know this and that. So it's how you manage that type of communication. But 15 minutes, you do a run, and then another 15 minutes for another run.
Absolutely. So, the spy needs to work out where they are. Everyone else has to work out who the spy is. You could even play this as like an icebreaker in like if you've got a new team or something like that, you can bust this out.
Exactly. It could be like a good office game as well.
Absolutely. Good to get the communication going. So that's my number 5, and it's Spyfall. All right, Matt, number 4, 15 minutes. What have you got for me?
So we did train before. I've got another route building game.
Okay.
But this time we're going east, and the game is Tsuro.
Okay, nice.
So in Tsuro, you basically place tiles to build your own route. The game is very simple, and but that is the beauty of the game. It's not a game that you need. Again, you don't need someone else that is really into board game. You literally explain it in 30 seconds. That it's not much more than that happening. You're basically trying to build your route to get to the victory. It's beautifully made. It looks gorgeous. And it's simple, and it's a 15 minutes game, not more than that.
Yeah, a bit of a classic at this point as well.
It
so
is.
A nice, simple game that you can learn. And again, is a more of a board game than something like a card game as well. So this is a good pick. Tsuro.
Good. Number 4 for you.
Number 4 for me. Again, it's not a board stupid list if we don't go to space at some point. And we can even get there in 15 minutes. I promise you. And that's with a 1 versus 1 card game, Star Realms.
Fair
Star Realms,
enough.
or indeed, if you don't like space, you get Hero Realms. Same game, different flavour. But Star Realms is a game I like. Kind of out of fashion these days, but I think it's tremendous. It's a classic deck builder. Very simple, 1 versus 1. Market cards in the middle. You've got your starter deck. You're going to be playing those cards, buying new cards, adding to the deck, reshuffle, start again, with the whole intent being to blow the other person out of the sky. Very simple. You've got life points, and when your life points get to 0, that's it.
That's the game.
That's it. Shuffle up, start again. Great. You've got different factions that you're going to be recruiting from. I think it's 4 different factions, basically different colours, and they focus on different things. You've got the Blob faction, and they're just like heavy damage aliens, which is gross. You've got the, I think it's the Federation faction, and they are like about healing yourself again. And lots of trade, so you can get more stuff. And then you've got I think it's the Yellow faction. Can't remember now. Don't hate the internet. I play a lot of games, which is all about like ditching cards to redraw cards and just cycling through your deck.
There's still like nice mechanics, but made in a simple way that the game. Actually, it's 15 minutes, so there's not much.
Brilliantly done for that, actually, as a matter of fact. Really tremendous achievement, I think, Star Realms. I still think it holds up to date. You can pick it up for £10 or your local equivalent. So it's got a spare 15 minutes. Maybe you're at the pub, you want to play a little card game, you want to blow your friends out the sky. Star Realms. So, Matt, after all of that space battling, what else can you possibly do?
What could you do in 15 minutes? We're coming back to Earth for a rebellion, basically.
you can do a rebellion in 15 minutes?
Yes, we can. You can rebel in 15 minutes.
Fight power.
With Unrest.
Okay.
Unrest is a 1 versus 1 game, and it's the most asymmetric games that you can think about it. One players will play with cards, with a deck of cards, and playing as the rebel, and the other one playing as the empire, or the
bad guys.
The bad guys it plays with tokens. So it's basically it's an area control where you need to control different zones. As soon as the rebel control 3 out of 5 zones, they win the game, and they do it like playing card and laying card face down on the table, and trying to set traps and stuff for the evil empire. While the empire will work with these tokens, that some of them will let like block in a zone, so the rebels cannot go in that zone to put cards. Other ones will let you look at what card has been put down by the rebels, so you know if you need to worry about that zone or not. Some others will destroy the rebel cards, and it's so fantastic. It's like such a small game, so
really asymmetric for that. It's amazing.
And don't get me wrong, it's not the same things, but it gives me the feeling of a distilled version of Netrunner.
If you boiled it down for a long time.
Really brought back to like a very small game. But it's really fun to play. 15 minutes, bam, rebellion done.
Finish my bit.
Now I'll play as the Empire. No, it's an absolutely little gem from Pandasaurus, and we really like the game. And,
we do.
15 minutes to rebel. Wayne, number 3, because the time is my
ticking,
watch?
And you know what? I'm waiting. I don't have a watch. Neither of us have a watch. It's 2024. I just look at my phone, man.
Yeah, fair enough.
Well, time is ticking while I'm waiting for my train, and we've talked about trains quite a lot already, and we're going to continue to do that with Ticket to Ride London, or indeed Ticket to Ride New York. Much the same thing.
Yeah.
It's the micro-sized version of the game that everybody knows, the very famous, very popular, very excellent Ticket to Ride by Alan R. Moon and Days of Wonder. This is a really condensed version of it, really good. Plays in 15 minutes. It has all of the things that you like about Ticket to Ride, route building, but this time, obviously, in a little micro-sized 60s London.
In the tube, in the tube or the subway, depending on which version.
It's the tube, but the tube. Of course, it's the London version. But it's, brilliant. Really lovely little production. Nothing overcomplicated. You could teach this very quickly. Very simple mechanisms. If you know Ticket to Ride, you're either going to draw a card or you're going to be playing trains.
Simple
as that. In this case, playing tube trains. And that's it. You're going to have route cards where they encourage you to get from one place to the other. They might say, you want to get from Marylebone to Soho or whatever it is, and you need to get something in between. And it is, it's brilliant. It's a really condensed version. You can teach it to anybody. There's a different flavour for you, and it's Ticket to Ride in 15 minutes. I think it does it very well. So that's my number 3, Ticket to Ride, London. So, Matt, we're coming up to the finish line. Which one gets the silver medal? That just finished the race in about 15 minutes.
Yeah, it's really interesting that you were talking about Ticket to Ride. That we can describe it as a mainstream game.
Yeah, more of a mainstream game.
Kind of. And I've got another mainstream game. And this kind of game, like opening a little paragraph here, a lot of time I see in the community getting a little bit like, nah, just because they are mainstream. Well, they're actually like very good games.
They're excellent games.
And what I'm talking about here is Codenames Duet.
Codenames
So
Duet.
it's the two-version game of Codenames. Again, deduction, word association deduction game. In the Duet version, everybody knows about Codenames, I guess, at this point. If you're watching this challenge, so probably you put all the cards down, one person say the words, and it's going to be associated with different words on the board. This is the game. The Duet version is a co-op version. It's actually not 1 versus 1, but it's cooperative, where you're trying to basically play Codenames with different challenges every time.
Nice.
And it's really nice. Me and Faye, my girlfriend, we played like a lot of time as a little small things, checking while waiting for the pasta to cook. So of course, we eat a lot of pasta.
I bet you do. Tremendous game. Codenames is a global phenomenon at this point. I think it basically keeps CGE's share price nice and high. It's such a good game. Yeah, tremendous game, mate. And the Duet version is one of the best versions of it.
Yeah, I do really like it, and I think it's absolutely great game for 15 minutes. So yeah, Codenames Duet. Wayne, you're number 2 now, because we are getting there.
We're getting very close to the edge. We really are.
Which one is your number 2?
My number 2, Super. We've had a little bit of stress, we've had a rebellion. I suppose if you're doing a rebellion, you're probably going to set a few bombs. So, and if you're the rebels, you probably want to defuse those bombs.
Yeah.
Long story short, my number 2 is a game called Fuse.
Ooh.
Fuse is a wonderful little game that you can play in 10 to 15 minutes if you really want to almost have a heart attack. Brilliant. It is a real-time game. Those games are great at making you feel really stressed.
Oh God,
they're really good.
Yeah.
And this one is a great one for that. It is a cooperative game where you're trying to defuse bombs. Basically, you are a bomb diffuser, and the theme is very thin, very light wash, but the game is great. You've got different cards which have different symbols and different placements on it, which will represent different dice that have to be stacked and placed in different ways in order to defuse those bombs. And to do that, you're going to be chucking dice wildly, making sure you always reach out and throw the correct number of dice. If it's the incorrect number of dice, you pick them all up, back in the bag, start again, and you're wasting time all the time it happens. And there's a little app timer that comes with it. You can use any timer, but the app timer I'd recommend because it mocks you constantly.
Fair enough.
It's like, what's taking so long? You're like, shut up, damn it. Great. And it might be that you're trying to do a pyramid of dice. And again, if you knock one of the dice off, they all come off back in the bag. And it is very, very fun, very, very stressful. And you will be swearing at your friends when they accidentally knock the table and knock your lovely pyramid or tower over. And you've got to throw those back in the bag, and it might have been the one that you needed to win. Great, great game. Plays in 10 minutes. Real-time nonsense. Fuse.
Great game.
So, Matt, time's up. You've got to give me your number 1. What's your number 1 game you can play in 15 minutes?
My number 1 game is the same as my number 1 on the 2-player games list.
Top 5 2-player games, up there somewhere.
And check it out. So if you watch that, you know that the game I'm talking about is Mad Max style 1 versus 1 card game.
It's a great game, I know it.
It's Radlands.
Radlands is awesome.
I adore Radlands. Deck building, hand management, area control. I shoot you, you shoot me. I'm trying to destroy your bases while you're trying to destroy mine.
Love it. It's simple.
That's very much the game. Again, it's a card game. I love the theme because the theme is basically coming out from Mad Max.
It's a great theme. Art is amazing.
Feast of the Northern Star. If you like that stuff, that style is exactly where the game is set up. And you play cards using the valuable resource that, of course, is water. Of
course,
it must be
post-apocalypse. It's got to be water.
It must be water.
Yeah.
And the graphic design is probably my favorite of all time. I absolutely love the colors and the quirky designs.
So bright purples and neons.
Yeah,
it's brilliant.
I absolutely love it. And 1 versus 1 is actually a tremendous game.
It is.
Where you're trying to build your deck, you're trying to play in the 3 rows where you can put your allies, trying to check what the other player is playing on in his or her columns, and it's a very, very strategic. Can go really deep in terms of like your strategy or your tactics or what you want to do. At the same time, it's been a very, very short game and really, really fun. I absolutely adore Radlands. One of my favorite games ever. And it plays in 15 minutes, so I can play a lot of it.
Yeah, absolutely. What a great pick.
Great. Radlands, number 1. Wayne, your gold medal goes to the Oscar goes to...
Scout. It's got to be. It's like my favourite. Scout is my favourite card game. You see that video somewhere up here as well.
Yeah.
And it's my favourite game you can play in 15 minutes. It is such a great game. It's so fun. Easy to teach. Weird little card game, but tremendously fun. I've never had a bad time playing Scout. 4 players is the number to play it with. Always play it with 4.
Yeah.
And relatively straightforward in what you're trying to do. You are going to try and play sets of cards, right? To try and beat the other person's sets of cards, like you might see in any other classic game. But if you can't beat the set, you have to pick the card up and put it back in your set. Now here's the twist of the game.
Yeah.
When you first get dealt out your hand of like 10 cards, you cannot rearrange them.
Those are the cards you've been dealt, and that's the position of the cards.
The specific order that may never be changed. And here's another great trick. Every single card has two values. A value this way around, and then a value that way around, the other way around, right? So when you pick a card up from the middle, you can pick it up either way around, and then put it anywhere in here, which then creates more sets, more of a kind, more runs that you can then play to beat the next person. With the end goal, of course, get rid of all of your cards, and when you do that, you are the winner.
You shout Uno.
You don't shout Uno. Never shout Uno. Never shout Uno, but so Scout is great. It's one of the best card games released in the last decade.
Yeah, it's a terrible game, and we always have fun playing it. Like, yeah, it's short, snappy, and absolutely, it's always a hit on the table, isn't it?
It's amazing. I love that game. Scout is great, and I'll continue to play it. It's a great pub game. It's great every time.
Yeah.
It's a filler game. It's whatever. I love Scout.
It's
Can't say enough. Scout. It's number one. Scout. So that's it. 15 minutes. We showed you just how much you can play. All of the different types of games. All of the different styles and genres. Almost anything.
Yeah. Again, there are many like very good like 15 minutes. We trying to give you on this list our favorite ones, and trying to do like different styles and different type of game. For example, one that did not make my list, it was Land and Sea, that I absolutely love it, but it's very similar to other games. So I'm trying to give you like more style, more genres.
Absolutely, it's a great dexterity game that you can include here called Clask.
Yeah.
Clask is great. It does really clever stuff with magnets, which is really wonderful.
I love it, Clask. Yeah, that's a great pub game. We should do a pub.
It's on the list. We're doing a pub list. Clask is a perfect pub game. Anyway, there's lots of great games that you can play in 15 minutes, but we want to know your picks for 15 minutes. Remember, must be able to play it in 15 minutes. No 15-minute setup. Right, needs to be a nice quick setup, and then get that game done and dusted within the space of a pint of beer. But well, you drink a beer in 15 minutes?
I can drink probably less than that. Yeah.
Probably less than that. So about 15 minutes. Well, there we go. So while you're doing that and letting us know in the comments below, Matt, tell the people what they need to do.
Well, share it, like it, and hit the subscribe button, please. How many times do we need to say it? Please, the red button. Please. And that will help us as a channel, and you will get notified every time we got something new for you. And while you're there, don't forget to check the Into the AM link in the description below for 10% discount on all the fantastic graphic tees that the guys produce. A fantastic quality and great graphics. So I love them. But yeah, get the link and get your 10% discount on top of every other discount. So
absolutely. And while you're doing that, we'll catch you again real soon.
Ciao.